Hey guys, how you going? So today on Big Our Sport preliminary finals, baby. The AFL preliminary finals are here and it's going to be a damn well juicy weekend. There is only one game between all four of these teams and making the grand final for 2020. And these two matchups are incredible. And well, they're always going to be. They're always going to be incredibly difficult matchups to read. However, I don't know, like this... There's so much. Sometimes in prelims you can tell. Like, you for example, when Geelong's in prelim, you can damn well usually tell that they're going to lose because we do it all the damn well time. Anyway, guys, let's just get straight into it and let's discuss both games in the AFL preliminary finals for 2020. Friday night action, Port Adelaide versus Richmond. This is going to be an incredible matchup that we actually only saw just a few weeks ago in the regular season. It wasn't too long ago when Port Adelaide was playing Richmond in Adelaide, and Port Adelaide came out on top by about 20 points in the end. It could have been 20, it could have been 30, but all I know is that in the end, it was actually quite a convincing result. Up until the three-quarter mark, it was really close. I think it was like a 2-3 point difference, but in that fourth quarter, we were live streaming this game, guys. If you don't know, we live stream pretty much every game on this channel, so obviously subscribe if you're new out here. But when we were live streaming this game, you know, it looked like Port Adelaide were the better team through three quarters, but at that three-quarter mark, Richmond were incredibly close. Incredibly. Like I said, I think it was like 2 to 3 points the difference. But after the fourth quarter had finished, Port Adelaide were well and truly on top. They'd really convincingly won that game through that fourth quarter. However, this is not the regular season anymore. This isn't where, you know, you're just playing for ladder position. You're playing for your life right now. You're playing for a chance to be in grand final week and in the grand final. And that's a whole different ball game, a whole different aspect, a whole different concept. And really, you've got to kind of try and remove what happened there. Finals football is so different because this is do or die. This is, if you lose, you're gone. You've basically wasted your season. I feel like Richmond might feel like, Richmond is still positive that they're even here at this point throughout the, you know, the injuries of the year, throughout what's going on with Victorian teams and how they haven't been able to play at home at any stage. They are also the current defending champions. And then you've got Port Adelaide on the other hand, who are the minor premiers. You know, they've had that week off, which don't necessarily believe, I've never really believed, and then again, I'm a Geelong fan, so, you know, bye weeks aren't great, but I've never really believed in that bye week being an actual added incentive. I feel like it's better to actually play the way through. But each to their own in regards to that opinion. However, I think that Port Adelaide are the better team. They do play at home, and really they should be winning this game. But I'm going to take Richmond. I'm going to take Richmond in this one. I'm going to tip Richmond to win. I know that seems odd considering how positive I was about Port Adelaide and the fact that I do believe that they are this year the better team. But I don't know if they're going to be able to come up with it in the clutch. I don't know if they're going to have the experience to get it over the line in the end. I feel like if it does go a similar path in which both teams are basically tied at the three-quarter mark, I feel like Richmond will know what to do to get it over that line in comparison to Port Adelaide, who they haven't been here in a long time. You know, they haven't been here, and experience is a big thing, guys. Experience is a really, really crucial aspect. Yes, Port Adelaide are at home, and yes, the atmosphere will come into effect, and that's why, you know, whoever wins this game, I am tipping Richmond, but obviously it's not a surprise whoever wins because both teams are fantastic. I really feel like Port Adelaide deserve it more this year. I do. Although, as a Geelong fan, obviously I don't want to preferably play Richmond because they have kind of a bogey thing over us. I really believe that Geelong versus Richmond in the final would be really good either way. I think it'd be a really cracker game, a classic grand final, much better than last year's bloody travesty. But that's not the point. I really feel like Port Adelaide deserve it, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to come over the line and actually pull themselves together of a rampaging Richmond who know that this is do or die footy. So I'm going to take Richmond here. I'm going to take them by 4 points in a very, very tight affair. If Port Adelaide win, it'll be by a very similar margin, 4 to 8 points. Either way, guys, this is going to be an absolutely cracker prelim. Like, obviously, you know, I think it should be, and it really should be, but we've all seen before, like the grand final last year, where it was like 100 damn well points. You know, we did it last week with Collingwood and Geelong, you know. You never know when something's going to be an absolute blowout, but I feel like if it is a blowout, I probably would lean with Port Adelaide. I think Port Adelaide have the better opportunity of winning by a significant margin than Richmond winning by a significant margin. So if Richmond's going to win this, it's going to have to be a tight battle. If Port Adelaide are going to win this, they need to come out and bang early. And I'm talking bang early. Saturday night action, guys, and before we get into it, just so you know, I am a Geelong fan, so do take this into account. Now, obviously, these tipping videos are more so that I can kind of explain more of what goes into the match and provide my tip, but obviously it's just me putting analysis in there so that you guys can know a bit more behind the scenes of what's going into the game. So more than likely, I'm going to take my boys. I'm more than likely going to take Geelong. However, what I tell you in the next few minutes is going to be how you kind of decide it, if you know what I mean. This is incredibly difficult to read. This is probably one of the most difficult matches to read probably of this season, because Geelong have just come off a 70-point win over Collingwood, right? And a lot of people were actually tipping Collingwood to make it through. Everyone knows that Geelong struggled to win finals. You know, we haven't been, a quality finals team in, 10 years now? And unfortunately, in my opinion, a lot of these guys in this team who are the crucial crunch, the spine of the team, they're probably on their last legs. And I feel like if there's going to be a window of opportunity for Geelong to win a grand final with these guys right now, it has to be this year. It has to be this year. But then again, I do say on my live streams quite a lot that Geelong are the professionals in regards to not going into a rebuild when we need to go into a rebuild, and kind of just patching up here and there. And it's been getting us by year after year. We've been competing year after year, but taking us that next step is the different story. But in saying that, Geelong just came off a 70-point victory over Collingwood. And another thing that I want to say about Geelong before we get into Brisbane is that Geelong never win after the bye. We suck after the bye. We never do it. This year, didn't happen with Essendon. I know that was technically a bye, but that was a bye in the middle of the week. So realistically, it was still a regular week for us. I don't class that as a bye win. We never win after the bye. So if you think about it, between the regular season and the finals, there is technically a bye week in between for all teams. So we come back, we play Port Adelaide, and we get comprehensively beaten. The following week, when there is no bye week, we come out and beat Collingwood by 70. So really, as much as losing to Port Adelaide isn't ideal, you don't want to lose any game. It can also be thought of as a positive because we wouldn't have had that extra bye week in between. But in saying that, guys, do remember, I'm not justifying a loss. I'm just saying that you can create the positives from either way of what happened in that game against Port Adelaide. In regards to the Brisbane Lions, like I said at the beginning of the video, they last year had 2 home finals. I went to one of them, I vlogged one of them, and I think it was against Richmond that I went to, and they lost that game. And then they lost the week after against GWS as well. So it's really hard to trust this team when it comes to finals, and also they've now had that bye week after their week 1 win against Richmond, who a lot of Brisbane Lions fans are like redemption. Don't think it was redemption. For the Brisbane Lions to get redemption, they would need to be making that grand final, because realistically this year, Brisbane Lions have gotten a lot of advantages. Now, I'm not going to say that Brisbane Lions don't deserve to be here because they've been fantastic all year, don't get me wrong. However, the Brisbane Lions have also played basically, I think, every single home game. I think they've had every single game at home. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain they've had every single home game this year. Obviously, there's no travel aspects to Perth or Adelaide. I think they went to Adelaide once. No, I'm not too sure. But basically, a minimum 90% of their games would have been at the Gabba. No Victoria, no real Sydney, no anywhere. So, it is an advantage. However, I'm not going to sit here and say they don't deserve it, because Melbourne teams get that predominantly every year. Not as much, but predominantly every year. So this is the best chance for Brisbane Lions to actually make that grand final and potentially win it, because the grand final will be at the Gabba. The earlier game between these two teams, Geelong came out on top quite significantly in the end. That wasn't at the Gabba, mind you. That does have to be taken into account. However, Geelong are also very well known for playing pretty good football at the Gabba. Last week, they played the Gabba and won by 70. The confusing thing about that game is that Brisbane actually were leading by about 20 points at one stage. I think they're up like 32-12, and that was in the second quarter. However, Geelong romped home to win that game. I think they scored like maybe 12 points or something in that second half. It was, pretty dire from Brisbane Lions actually, and most people didn't give Geelong a chance there. But the Brisbane Lions seem to go missing that second half, and I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. This team is quite inconsistent, but they're another team that's lacking in the experience. They made it last year and they lost both their games, as I said. Yes, they won their opening game this year, but I just don't know if they have the experience, just like Port Adelaide, to actually take it to that next step. They should be taking it to that next step, but I'm going to take Geelong, guys. I'm going to take Geelong, and that's not because they're my team. I didn't put a tipping video out last week, but I was very close to tipping Collingwood, just because I don't back us in prelims. We lost last year in the prelim. I vlogged that one too. We're very well known for losing in finals, and specifically in the prelim. But I do think that this is the year we make the grand final. I do think that we do beat Brisbane. I don't know if we beat Richmond if we make the grand final. I don't even know if we beat Port Adelaide if they're the ones who make it in. But I'm going to take Geelong. I'm going to take us by literally I'm going to take us by 2 points. I'm going to take you know what? I'm going to take us by lose by 8. Between 2 and 8. Between 2 and 8. I feel like Brisbane's play style and Geelong's play style really work well with each other. I don't think anyone really has too much of an advantage in regards to the playing style, the contrasting styles together. I just feel like when two teams are so evenly matched, and it's at a stadium that I feel like is quite evenly matched because Geelong play well there, I think it will come down to the experience. And although Geelong don't necessarily have the experience of winning that big time match in the last decade, I think they've got enough to show that they don't want to. I think they've got enough experience to not lose it. And in comparison with Brisbane, who don't really know, these guys, this group of guys, don't really know what it's like as a team to be in this situation. So I'm going to take Geelong. It's going to be a real tight one. It could be between 2 and 8 points in my opinion. I'll go 2 because I do really respect the Lions. And we're going to be live streaming this game, guys. So if you haven't subscribed yet, like I said, go down there, hit that subscribe button. And I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to both games this weekend. It's going to be absolutely cracker. And obviously next week, we've got the AFL Grand Final, which is just going to be absolutely insane. But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off. Obviously, NRL tips will come out tomorrow for you guys. Don't forget, guys, I've just brought back BKR Travel, which is basically my second channel where I do film reviews every Friday. You know, we've got travel vlogs coming, and we've also got a mental health podcast that we're going to be bringing out as well. Please go down to the description below and subscribe to that channel because, you know, we're going to be posting every Monday, Wednesday and Friday alongside here. We're going to be streaming all weekend. You know, we've got Rugby League, we've got AFL, we've got the Bledisloe Cup Game 2 at Eden Park. But like I said, guys, that's going to do me. Hit that thumbs up button if you did enjoy this. Let me know in the comment section your tips and whether you think I'm completely wrong. That's cool. You can have whatever opinion you want, and the comment section is free for you guys to voice that opinion. But I'm taking my cutters, baby. I'm taking my cutters, baby. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later.